This is absolutely a new year for a lot of reasons. I will explain to you. From our spiritual perspective, we are just entering the first avatar of the Lord. So far, whatever we had done was telling us the back end story, how it happened, what happened. So in the last week itself, what we did was how Maitreya Muni is explaining everything to Vidura. This we learned. And how Brahmaji then gives the world these different things. So the creation process is started. So now we had arrived at a point where Brahmaji has created his son and daughter, that is Manu and his wife, and he has called them and he has told them that they are supposed to now create a new generation of people. So we had come to this particular point. Today's satsang is all going to be about how they take charge. And where do they take charge? See, the place is important. So place is something which we have to understand, for which the creation of the new avatar happens. That is called the Varaha avatar. So now, so far we have covered up to Brahmaji is giving instructions. So let us continue with the next verse onwards. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Part 1, Chapter 13. And verse 11. Since you are very obedient son, I ask you to beget children qualified like yourself in the womb of your wife. Rule the world in the pursuance of the principle of devotional service unto Sri Krishna, and thus worship the Lord by performance of yagyas. So the first instruction which is given by Brahmaji to his son is to go and reproduce. That means go and produce more children. Now, even in all other scriptures, whichever scripture you may take, the same line is there. The job of a human being or the job of any creature on planet Earth is to reproduce, is to produce the future generation. And so, here the answer is go and produce, go and beget children like yourself in the womb of your wife. This is what he has said. And what are you supposed to do after that? Rule the world. Because remember, there is nobody there. Now, who else is there in this world? Do you remember who else is there? There are Rishi Munis. The knowledge has already come over there. So all the Rishi Munis are already existing. All the other sons of Brahmaji are already there. Okay. This particular couple, which is Manu and Shatrupa, their job is to produce the next human generation. The Rishi Munis are knowledge based. They are different. There are demons, there are Rishi Munis, there are many things. I am sure you remember when the creation of even Rudra happened, a lot of demons and lot of other creatures also came into the picture. Now these are from the other world. They are the basic ones who rule that particular domain. So they are called Ganas. say bhoot, pret, pishach and all that, okay? That kind. But here what we are talking about are human beings. So the creation of the human race is what we are discussing over here. So what kind of human race does Brahmaji say to him? A replica of you. That means Manu's replica and Shatrupa's replica. And they should be following the rules of this world. Means there are certain rules which have been put in place, which are called the Vedic injunctions. So they got to follow the rules. Nobody can operate outside of it. I hope you get this point. So rule the world in pursuance of the principles of devotional service. I am sure you can understand over here, the first principle is being told to you over here, and that is called devotional path. So what is Brahmaji telling his son? Follow the path of devotion, be always devoted to Sri Krishna and worship him continuously. Following the principles. We should not fall outside of it. And the next thing, what are they saying? The next thing is performance of yajna. That means we got to do our duties. Everybody has been given some duty or the other. We have to do them accordingly. Without performance of duties, we cannot progress in our life. So now, this whole kingdom belongs to whom? Belongs to Manu. Manu is the one who rules this entire earth. So the next verse says, O king, if you can give proper protection to the living beings in the material world, that will be the best service for me. When the Supreme Lord sees you to be a good protector of the conditioned souls, certainly the master of the senses will be very pleased with you. The next verse, Sri Krishna, that is Janardana, in the form to accept all the results of your sacrifice. If he is not satisfied, then one's labor for advancement is futile. He is the ultimate self, and therefore one who does not satisfy him certainly neglects his own interest. Now here, what is Brahmaji telling his son, Manu? He is saying, see, I have given you this kingdom. This whole kingdom of this universe has been given to you. Go and rule this. Remember, even Adam and Eve, they were given that entire kingdom, not the Garden of Eden, outside of it. This whole earth was given to them. Go and rule it is what they said. And if you recollect, they were supposed to have children, and they had many children after that. Here also, it is the same being mentioned to Manu and his wife. It is being said, you have to follow the path of devotion, be the greatest devotee of the Lord. See, because who else is there to pray to? There is nobody. Father is Brahmaji. And Brahmaji also prays to Sri Krishna. So what is Brahmaji telling Manu? He is saying, you pray to Sri Krishna, perform yajnas. Yajnas are rites and rituals which you also do. Same kind of rites and rituals you are also performing. How? What are they? A simple act of eating food, breathing. These are all called yajnas, by the way. Yajna doesn't necessarily mean that you have to perform it in a sacrificial pit and all that. This is also a sacrificial pit. But you have to do it in a very systematic manner, devoting it to Sri Krishna. If you are going to devote actions to your own self, then they are going to be a selfish action. So suppose you think you are eating, and when you are eating, you believe that you are eating because it is healthy for you. Isn't that how it works? We like to eat stuff which we feel are edible, palatable, likable, and we feel that, oh, they are providing me with this, that, and so many other things. So we tend to do those actions. Similarly, there are certain things that we are supposed to see, and certain things we are not supposed to see. But isn't your eyes doing even the wrong actions? You are not supposed to watch trash on this internet. Why are you watching it? The breath is given so that you can breathe properly. Why are you using the breath for smoking? Isn't it something wrong? Did you see that all these actions, watching wrong stuff on the internet, smoking, eating what you like. I don't like this, I will not eat this. Have you noticed how people talk like this? They are very selective in their eating. In my world, what I do is like this. I make food for everybody. Everybody is supposed to eat in a specific manner. Everything has to be eaten in moderation. But people use their mind and they say, I don't want this. I don't want that. Why? Oh, I eat this with this. I don't like the taste of it. How many people say these words? I guess everybody says it. When you go to a restaurant, you always have that kind of a behavior, isn't it? I don't like this, I like this, this is very good, can I have more of this? Do you eat everything that comes in your plate? Hardly anybody does that. So the performance of this action is called a yajna. Common sense will tell you, if I am performing a yajna in a kund, that is a sacrificial pit, and I put a wrong kind of wood in it. You know what a wrong kind of wood is, no? There are woods, branches of trees and all that which I am supposed to put. So there is a certain type of wood that needs to go in it. Suppose I use a wrong wood, then what happens? The yajna is spoiled. In a similar fashion, your stomach is also a sacrificial pit. You are putting in food which is called an offering, which is wrong. Then what happens? Some problem is going to come. Are you understanding what I am saying? So please remember this. Whenever you are using wrong ingredients or eating wrong food, watching wrong stuff, smelling wrong things, whatever the case might be, it is a non-performance of the right action, which means you are going against the Vedic principles. So when you go against the Vedic principles, what happens? You are going to suffer. And here he says, if he is not satisfied, who is not satisfied? Sri Krishna. Then one's labor of advancement is futile. Now there is a child's mind, a child's brain is there. The brain is like a sacrificial pit. What are you supposed to put in that sacrificial pit? Simple answer is knowledge. What kind of a knowledge? Right kind of a knowledge. Think like this. If you are going to put wrong kind of a knowledge in the mind of the child, it is going to destroy the child. It is then one's labor for advancement is futile. Then whatever you do is going to be detrimental to the child. Right? I hope you are getting this point. This is being made very clear for you to understand that never ever do something which is contrary to what you are supposed to do. Right? And he is the ultimate self. Who is the ultimate self? Sri Krishna. And therefore, one who does not satisfy him certainly neglects his own interest. Suppose you are putting something wrong in that. What is going to happen? Do you think that Krishna is going to be happy? You are doing something wrong. When you do something wrong, Sri Krishna is not going to be happy with you. Because you are doing something which is detrimental to it. Many a times I have to tell people, in South India, we have this habit of putting so much of tamarind water, tamarind juice in a sambar or that rasam or whatever. I had to tell them, can you taper it down? Can you lessen it? If you are going to put more, your body may not accept it. So how is Sri Krishna going to accept? All offerings are given to Sri Krishna. He is the ultimate self, remember. And therefore, one who does not satisfy him certainly neglects his own interest. So if you are not able to give him the right food, him is inside your being also, isn't it? If you are going to be angry, if you are going to be upset, if you are going to have a scowl on your face, tell me something, how is the Krishna inside going to react to it? Your anger is all about that venom inside of you. Is Sri Krishna inside of you? Yes. What is it that you are offering him? Venom, isn't it? Why are you offering him venom? So every time when your face is scowling and anger and all that, Sri Krishna is not accepting your offerings at all. So he says, I don't want this. So he certainly neglects his own interest. So the person who does this to Krishna is neglecting his own interest. So always be very conducive. Sri Manu said, O powerful Lord, O killer of all the sins, I have abided by your order. Now please let me know my place and that of the living entities born of me. O Master of demigods, please attempt to lift the earth which is submerged in the great waters, because it is the dwelling place for all the living entities. It is done by your endeavor and by the mercy of the Lord. So here, what is Manu responding to Brahmaji? Manu is telling Brahmaji, yes, I will 100% abide by what you say. You are telling me to perform the perfect offerings to be given to the Lord so that he will be happy with me and I will get good results. So I am going to do that. I'm going to ensure that I am also following the diktats of the Vedic injunctions. I should follow. But now there is one problem which I see. Can you give me a place from where to operate? I need a space, isn't it? A place where I can, set up my family, a kind of a house, and I can work from there. So can you provide me with that? So Why is he saying these words? Because remember, the earth is submerged in the water. So far, the earth is only visible as a watery thing. Water all over the place. Only few places are above water. What are those places? The mounds, like Meru and all. They are above water, and this whole dialogue is happening somewhere over there. So what is he saying? So you will find that the son, Manu, is telling his father, can you please give me a place to operate from? Now, this is verse 16. Sri Maitreya said, thus seeing the urge merged into the water, Brahma gave the attention for a long time of how it could be lifted. Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down to the depth of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in the matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. So Brahmaji is also not able to answer his son. He says, while I was only thinking of doing this creation process, remember he was sitting on that stalk, the lotus, and he started creating. So he has forgotten where to put these people up. Just imagine today, there are lots of people who go and produce more and more children. Where are these children going to stay? Isn't it important for first you have to think where they are going to stay and then start producing children? Otherwise, what is going to happen? See, the development of a child happens when he is given a certain amount of independence. By the time he is 3 and 4 years old, he needs to have his own room. Because he has to develop a personality. He has to develop his brains, his mind. He got to have his own books. He got to have his own table, chairs and everything. So children need to be given independence. Right? So Brahmaji has forgotten that. So Brahmaji says, now I have already created so many people. Where do I put them? The earth has meanwhile gone inside the water. So he says, this problem I can't solve. I will have to ask my father. So he says, I will go and ask Narayana about it. How to solve this problem. So verse 18. O sinless Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahmaji was engaged in thinking, a small form of a boar came out of the nostrils. The measurement of the creature was not more than an upper portion of the thumb. This much only. So Brahmaji had a cold and from his snot came the avatar. Sounds very strange, isn't it, to our ears? No. When we consider Brahmaji as a human creature, a human being, so we give him a form, isn't it? No, we are not supposed to consider Brahmaji as a human form. For reference, he is given 4 heads and a body and a kamandalu and a beads for doing all that. That is for reference purpose, so that you understand this. But Brahmaji is creation. He is the one who makes something. So when he is making, it is said that from his being comes one small entity. It is as big as the thumb, the upper portion of the thumb. And that entity is a wild boar. You know what a boar is, na? Pig we say. Huh? A pig which is in the wild, it's got those two horns like this sticking up. So boar comes out. O descendant of Bharata, while Brahma was observing him, the boar became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation as a gigantic as a great elephant. So when the boar comes out and he goes in front of Brahmaji, he becomes as big as an elephant. Suddenly grows. So this is how the Varaha avatar was manifested. Struck with wonder at observing this wonderful boar-like form in the sky, Brahmaji with great Brahmanas like Marichi as well as Kumaras and Manus began to argue in a various ways. In this, some extraordinary entity comes in the presence of a boar. It is very wonderful that he has come from your nose. First of all, this boar was seen no bigger than the tip of the thumb, and within a moment, he is as large as a stone. My mind is perturbed. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu? So, so here Brahmaji is sitting over there and wondering. Naturally, you will also wonder. Something like this happens in the world. Suddenly something appears in front of you. You are going to wonder, isn't it? What is happening? And that is the reason why Brahmaji is a little perturbed. He says, I have to know who this person is. Because we have to understand, isn't it? And that is the reason why he says, I have to think. How is it that suddenly from being such a small thing, he has become so big? And all his other children, remember? All those sages and saints were there. They are the knowledge base. They are also looking at Brahmaji and saying, from your nose this creature came out. How is it? What is that? So they are just thinking and thinking. So Marichi and all other of these, they are just thinking about it. So they are wondering whether he is an avatar connected to Narayana. While Brahma was deliberating with sons, Vishnu rode tumultuously like a great mountain. The omnipotent Sri Krishna enlivened Brahma and the other highly elevated Brahmanas by again roaring with his uncommon voice, which echoed in all directions. When the great sages and thinkers who are residents of Janaloka, Tapaloka and Satyaloka heard the tumultuous voice of the Lord Boar, which was all auspicious sound of all merciful Lord, they chanted auspicious chants from the three Vedas. So here you will find that what is mentioned is this boar, he just did not come out and become big suddenly, like a big stone, as big as an elephant, but he came out in front of Brahmaji and everybody else that is there and started making a loud noise. So that noise was quite large, quite hurtful to everybody. And that was Vishnu himself, Mahavishnu himself who was doing it. So Narayana came and started grunting. And these grunts were heard by everybody over here. They chanted, so everybody over there, all the sages and saints and Brahmaji, everybody, they were a little afraid. So they started saying prayers. They started reciting the Vedas. Why the Vedas? Because Vedas contain all the prayers. So that is why. Playing like an elephant, he entered into the water after roaring again in reply to the Vedic prayers by the great devotees. The Lord is the object of the Vedic prayers, and thus he understood that devotees' prayers were meant for him. So this boar which came understood those prayers because those prayers were meant for him. Finally, at the end of the day, if we are praying to God, whom are we addressing? We are addressing that one entity alone, that is Lord Krishna. Or in other religions they may say Father in heaven, or whichever other religion says whatever. So that is only one entity we are addressing everything. And this boar is a creation of that. So naturally when the boar understood that these prayers were meant for him, he went inside the water. And there he started roaring while going inside the water. So there is water inundated everywhere, so he enters the water. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the skies, slashing his tail, his hard hair quivering, his very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white tusk. So we are describing the boar over here. The boar, before he entered the water, he went up high in the sky. And he started slashing his tail about. So what was over there in the sky? A lot of clouds. So the clouds were starting to move around. With his very glance was luminous. So that means he had bright eyes. And he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white tusks. So there are the tusks which are there. And his body was moving at a fabulous pace. So all this was happening. He was personally the Supreme Lord Vishnu and was therefore transcendental, yet because he has the body of a hog, he searched after the earth by smell. His tusks were fearful, and he glanced over the devotee Brahmanas engaged in offering prayer. Thus he entered the water. So what does he do? He is Lord Vishnu himself. But he had taken a body of a hog. So he searched the earth by smell. The hog normally, if you have seen, he puts his snout inside the ground and searches for food. So he was smelling everywhere. His tusks were fearful, and he glanced over the devotee Brahmanas. So he started looking like this. And then when they were offering him prayers, so he suddenly entered the waters. Diving into the water like a giant mountain, Lord Boar divided the middle of the ocean, and two high waves appeared as the arms of the ocean, which cried loudly, as if praying to the Lord, O Lord of all sacrifices, do not cut me into two. Kindly give me the protection. Lord Boar penetrated the water with his hooves, which were like sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean. Although it was unlimited, he saw the earth, the resting place for all living beings lying at it in the beginning of the creation, and he personally lifted it. So here you will find what the Lord Boar does. So he goes into the ocean, and when he is cutting inside the ocean gets separated. Remember, his two tusks are like this, no? So the ocean gets separated. So the ocean says, please don't separate us. We want to be one. And when you enter, please ensure that the ocean is not at all separated. So all the oceans are one. The idea is that. Secondly, when the boar enters, what does it do? It goes to the bottom of the ocean. Finally, he reaches a point where he sees the land mass is down there at the bottom. So what does he do? With his two tusks, he starts lifting this land mass upwards. Alright? So he personally lifted it. The Lord Boar was very easily took the earth on his tusk and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid. Then his anger glowing like Sudarshana wheel, he immediately killed the demon Hiranyaksha, although he tried to fight with the Lord. Thereupon Lord Boar killed the demon within the water Just as a lion kills with an elephant, the cheek and tongues of the Lord became smeared with the blood of the demons, just as an elephant becomes reddish from digging into the purple earth. So here we are getting a descriptive idea about what the boar did. Now, I will explain all this once this is over, okay? So you may be wondering what exactly is happening. So don't worry about it. We'll just go through the verses, so get a meaning of them later on. So here the boar goes to the bottom of the ocean. There is already a king over there at the bottom of the ocean, and his name is Hiranyaksha. So Hiranyaksha has put this earth underwater, and this boar is lifting it, and when he is lifting it, he sees Hiranyaksha over there. So Hiranyaksha is not allowing the boar to lift this earth. So what does he do? He fights with Hiranyaksha and kills him. So when he kills him with his, two of those tusks, the whole water becomes red in color, and his tusk also become red in color. His body is smeared with the blood of Hiranyaksha. So then the Lord praying like an elephant suspended the earth on the edge of the edge of his curved white tusk. He assumed a bluish complexion like that of a tamala tree, and thus the sages headed by Brahma could understand him to be the supreme personality of Godhead and offered respectful obeisance unto the Lord. So now what the boar has done? He has lifted the earth high above the waters. The earth is now above waters. And then the boar comes out of the water, and all these sages, saints, Brahmaji and everybody over there, including Manu and his wife, they look at him. So suddenly his body color changes into that dark hueish shade that is there of Sri Krishna. The Krishna's body is very peculiar shade. It is blackish grey. So that is the form he takes. So everybody then understands that, oh, this is Sri Krishna himself taking this form. So Mahavishnu, who is in the same form as Sri Krishna, 2 days ago when we were celebrating that particular festival over here in South India, you remember going to the temple, Narayana's temple, where he is always dressed in black. That black body is there. So naturally that kind of a body is visible of this boar. So now they have assumed that that is the boar. Okay. All the sages uttered with great respect, O unconquerable enjoyer of all sacrifices, all glories and the victories unto you. You are moving in the form of the personified Vedas, and in the hair holes of the body, the ocean was submerged. For certain reason to uplift the earth, you have now assumed the form of a boar. O Lord, your form is worshipable by performance of sacrifice. But souls who are simply miscreants are unable to see it. All the Vedic hymns, Gayatri and others are in the touch of your skin. In your bodily hair is the kusa grass. In your eyes is the clarified butter. And your 4 legs are the 4 kinds of fruitive activities. So now we are describing the boar. The boar is described in such a manner. So you will understand that the boar has very tiny hairs on the body. So that hair is the kusa grass that is there. And people do not understand this. When they look at a boar, the boar is the one which everybody is talking about, the pig, the wild pig. But when you look at a pig, do you like to pray to it? Have you ever thought of that? No. So you will find that this is something which we will not even do in our normal life. Do you think next time when you see a boar, you are going to like it? You are going to pray to it? No. But if God is taking the form of a boar, what makes you think that he can't take a form of a boar? He can take any form, please remember this. But because your soul is not purified, you may not be able to understand the form that he takes. The meaning is this. Are you getting it? So there is something which we need to know. First and foremost, if there is a pig, now let us say, oh, dirty pig, we say that, we say these words. What are we doing? We are using derogatory language. You are as dirty as a pig. So is it a derogatory language? Yes. Now in the material world, in our world, do we use derogatory language about others also? How do you know that that person is not God? Are you getting the point? So please never speak ill against anybody in this world. Never say bad things about another person, whoever they might be. If God can come as a pig, he can come as a fish, he can come like a small short guy also. Why are we thinking that he cannot come like somebody you seem to know? Right? So first and foremost, we should not be that simple miscreants who are not able to see. So don't be that naughty fellow who cannot see God. Look at that God in a very respectable manner. So we have to respect the whole world. And we have to ensure that we have this equanimity of mind and never deride any person. Because you don't know not how the God comes, isn't it? So he says, this particular body of the pig, it was all like Vedic hymns, the Gayatri and others, and in touch of your skin, in the bodily hair of all is kusa grass, and your eyes were like clarified butter, and your four legs were the kind of four fruitive activities. I mean, just imagine this. The Lord is described over here in a very peculiar manner. And we are only looking at him as a pig. No, don't do that. See, when people speak derogatory stuff about God, now you will find that children normally tend to speak ill against them, Those who are followers of Sanatana Dharma, they understand that they have gods who are like, the wild boar, and then the fish, and Hanumanji is there, like a monkey god is there, and then there are other gods also, right? Which are animal gods and birds and all those kind of things. When somebody looks at this god and they say, oh, you have a monkey god, huh? Or you have a pig god, huh? We are eating pigs. Really? Don't get upset with these kind of idiots. Because they are called miscreants. They are the ones who speak ill against you and against the Lord. Isn't their religion telling that Lord can take any form? God is Almighty God, isn't it? If he wants to take the form of a fly, can he not take that? Every religion teaches that the God is supreme, isn't it? If God is supreme, then why can he not become a fly? Why can he not become an elephant? Why can he not become a pig? Why can he not become a fish? He can become anything. So please do not get upset when people say bad things about the form that you worship. Because the form that we worship, we have to be devotees of that form. O Lord, your tongue is a pallet of sacrifice, your nostril is another plate of sacrifice, your belly is the eating place of sacrifice, and another place of sacrifice is the holes in your ear. In your mouth is the Brahma plate of sacrifice, your throat is a plate of sacrifice known as Soma, and whatever you chew is known as the Agnihotra. Now remember, I told you right in the beginning, every part of your body, because God lives in you also, whether it's the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the hands, the legs, your stomach, your heart, your whatever other part that you can think of, is called the sacrificial pit. And here is the clear definition of what is being said. So the different things that are mentioned, including the holes of the ears, they are also sacrificial pits. sacrifices of sound happens in these pits. When you hear through your ears, the sacrifice happens through your eyes. In your eyes, there are this, holes through which the sacrifice enters. The nose, breathing appears, isn't it? Mouth, you are putting food in your mouth. I hope you are getting that point. So every part of the body of the boar is also a sacrificial pit. So here it is given what are the different types of sacrificial pits that are there. So the throat is the plate of sacrifice known as the soma. So these places are given names. And whatever you chew is known as the Agnihotra. I told you that there are people required for performance of sacrificial acts. What are these actions that we are supposed to perform?